You are listening to the daily homily for Magdala in the Holy Land.
The apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. He said to them, "Come away by yourselves to a deserted place and rest a while." People were coming and going in great numbers, and they had no opportunity even to eat. So they went off in the boat by themselves to a deserted place. People saw them leaving, and many came to know about it. They hastened there on foot from all the towns and arrived at the place before them. When Jesus disembarked and saw the vast crowd, his heart was moved with pity for them, for they were like sheep without a shepherd. And he began to teach them many things. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The apostles gathered together with Jesus and reported all they had done and taught. And this is one of the most important things that we all do after we do certain tasks of service and mission in the church. And parents could consider that as well when they teach their children about the faith. Obviously, much is taught through the practical day-to-day living of life together. And that's an ongoing thing all the day, 24/7 for parents of little kids. But there are moments also when the work of faith formation is done more explicitly. And after Jesus sends us out to do this, to come back to Jesus and report. And this very beautiful thing. Or maybe it's when the children leave home and they go off to college. Or in the morning when they go to high school. And you have done your part motivating them for the day. And then you turn inside your heart to prayer. You gather with Jesus. And you thank him, you entrust the work to him, you report to him what you try to do. You talk to him about the difficulties you meet in doing this apostolate. And there Jesus receives us. And this is very much so for those of us who are in full-time ministry. But really, every baptized person in a way is in full-time ministry because we're always being salt of the earth and light of the world. But to connect, to go out from Jesus, be sent out into the world, and then to come back to Jesus. And then they not just come back to Jesus here, but Jesus said, we need to have a quiet place so we can really have a good chance to have a good exchange about your experience. And that's then when the crowd shows up again and Jesus continues teaching them, which is also teaching the apostles that there has to be a great will to sacrifice oneself to serve the people who need Jesus, who need the light of the world, who need the salt of the earth. And that's very beautiful. I found Solomon very inspiring today with his prayer and God in his dream. He has this dream, right? And he goes to Gibeon to sacrifice and all these thousands of animals. And then God says to him, you have shown great favor. Solomon says his prayer, and God says, ask whatever you want and I will give it to you. I wonder what you would ask for if God asked you and give you this opportunity. What would you ask God for? It's an interesting thought, isn't it? And Solomon asked for a listening ear. It's also translated for understanding, which the context also allows for. So he asked in his role of leadership, he asked God for the gift of listening. And that's important because otherwise the leader would be imposing his own will. And so he wants to be able to perceive what God is doing in the hearts and souls of those people that are entrusted to him. As king, he's responsible for all the people. It's beautiful to see Solomon starting out like this. When we look around the world today, we see so many leaders ardently committed to war, to conflict, to eradicating other peoples. And so we have a great need to pray for the leaders that are there today. But also all of us help to provide the leaders who will be there tomorrow in the encounters we have And especially I'm thinking of children today, wouldn't it be beautiful to fill the whole world with new generations who want to be peacemakers? And how do we accomplish that? And sometimes, I'm not a very good judge of this because I don't have direct experience in it, but watching children and their parents together and how the parents draw out affirmation in the children, how they affirm the children and want them to be very strong and very competitive and succeed. And the measurement of success is to win all the competitions, to train very hard, to assert oneself, to demand one's own likes and interests. But maybe there are some other qualities that are needed also to help to develop in the child the ability to appreciate peace and living together as very important. Maybe that's even more important today, given the amount of time children spend on cell phones and watching entertainment, and they can have the whole world that entertains them on their own. Years ago, that wouldn't be so easy because it wasn't available, and the only way you could entertain yourself was playing games with others. But now you can be fully absorbed with one of these appliances like a cell phone or a television screen, and the child to play games, special games that can be played solo, and they spend their whole time alone. Then how can that child grow up to be a person that is interested and committed to be a peacemaker? And then the example that parents set for their children, that the highest value isn't to impose oneself, but to reach a conciliatory solution. And we'll go back again to Solomon. He asked for the Lord for an ear to hear. He asked for understanding. And we also know from Paul's comment that the faith comes through the ear. It comes through hearing. And this effort to listen, to discover God's action in those around us, in the communities around us, in the people entrusted to us, in the challenges in our world, this is a wonderful discipline. And God was pleased that Solomon made this request. So we could give great pleasure to God by training children, grandchildren, to have an ear for God, to open their heart for God's will in the others around them, and how marvelous it would be to become an expert in peacemaking, even with one's own little siblings, at school, in play and recreation. So there we have a lot of work to do.
Thank you for joining us today. If you want to learn more about Magdala, follow us on YouTube and on Facebook.